Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our lab training. Today we have with us Allan. For those who don't know, Allan is the CSBL designer, and he will talk about Inkscape and how to draw vectors using this tool. Welcome, Allan. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and my name is Alan. I'm very happy to be here talking to you guys. Today is gonna be an introduction, very quick, brief introduction to Inkscape and vector drawing, right? So, hello everyone. This is our screen on Inkscape. You can see here in the left side, we have all the tools you can use to make your drawings. In the other sidebar, we have options. In up here, we're gonna have options too. So everything you do, you're gonna switch from those sidebars on the left to the side, on up to change settings of what you have done. This is our first object. And with this, I'm gonna show you the first tool. The first tool is the select and transform objects. Is how I usually call black arrow. With this tool, you can select, of course, and transform objects. So you may have the possibility to change the size. If you double click, you can rotate. So if you need maybe something inclined like this, and this is the first tool. Uh, I'd like to give a first quick tip that is about your hands. When you're working with design, you don't use only one hand, only your right hand or the hand of your mouse. You need to use both hands. Why? Because the left hand is gonna be the hand you're gonna use to shortcuts. So you always gonna have the two hands on the table. You cannot be like this. Mm, what I'm doing? Because every time you're gonna press a shortcut, you need to already have this hand on the keyboard. So first rule, hands on the desk. Why? Let's see the first keyboard. The first keyboard we're gonna see is the S. So let's make another one here. S. Why the select tool is important? Because it's your backup tool. Every time you're doing something and then you mix up and then I don't wanna keep drawing squares. What I do? S2. So click on S and you are back to the black arrow where because this tool when you click you will not changing anything. So it's like the basic tool. You're always gonna do something and then go back to the select tool. So the first tool, select tool, okay? The second, I'm not gonna talk now, I'm gonna talk the third. The third is the square tool. So let's go. Square tool. What's the shortcut? R. So R, square tool. With this tool, we can obviously make square, and how we can optimize this. Right after we done the square, we have those handles where you can change the corner. Um, Actually, let's go to the another tool. It's time to present the edit path by nodes tool. Edit paths. This is a very important tool because with the edit paths, we can actually click in the node and then make modifications. That wasn't working. To you change the corner, you need to be in the edit paths tool. So we can already make a recap here. I have the select tool, select, and I have the edit tool to make quick additions. You may see that you can even select different corners. And we're gonna start doing those tools. I'm gonna show another one that is here, Bezier tool. It's called Draw Bezier Curves and Straight Lines. Let me add this. We're gonna start with those four tools. The Bezier tool allows you to directly draw points which which you can edit with other tool like edit paths. So what is important to see? If you are in the select tool S, you'll not be able to change the drawing. You'll only be able to change the drawing if you are with the edit paths N. Then you may see all the points and the handles. This is what we call handles. You're gonna use the handles to make the curves of your drawing. So let's go to a practical example. I have this series of drawings. So this is a chess horse. And why is only straight lines? Because when you start to make a vector, this is my way, my technique. I start only with straight lines where you can basically position where you think that the anchor point, the node, is need to be. After you've done that, then you can customize it and then you can choose the points that are fine and the one that then you need to revise. You see, you're not gonna do this in the first time. You're gonna keep it clicking and boom, it's done. No, you're gonna revise the thing. So this is the first step. First, you're gonna do draw some points, and it's gonna be all straight lines. Then you're gonna start to edit your points, and you can delete points because you see that that point weren't necessary. The rule is that the last point you have better is your drawing. A drawing with much points is basically you're lost, you don't know what you're doing. But it's not only refine, you know, this is curved, this is straight, but you can add some personality to this because you're gonna this I want this a little more curved. So question from Mauro. It's possible to create the light points after the drawing. If you are working in SVG or vector file, you're always gonna be able to change your drawing. So this is the biggest flex in work with vector is that you're gonna save your SVG and then later you have an alteration. I need to make this a little larger. Okay, let's do this. But once you close your file to pixel, then you're not able. It's only in the vector sphere. So continuing, I have here the stages where you can see the drawing definition, where you can put another objects to better do the drawing. This is another thing. Generally, you're gonna have many objects to do the drawing. You're not gonna solve the thing with only one object. And here is how we create. So first I'm gonna have a background that was the first image. Then I'm gonna just click copy and paste in the front and do some changes. So I did this copy and paste and make this a little smaller so we can see the border here. And then we can do the details. So this is how you can organize the things. You do the background layer, the middle layer, and the up layer with details. Because you know that the eye cannot be afterwards things. It needs to be in the front, in the first layer. So is here in the details layers. Is everyone following up? We're gonna do a practical example. Why I show this for you, horse? Because this was the first thing I ever learned to vectorize it. I did this in the Word, Microsoft Word, because in those times I haven't have something of vector to work. But the lesson here is that once you have points, and you may do this even in PowerPoint. You can create a free form. After that, you can edit your points and get your drawing. Oh, but I want something easier. Okay, let's do something easier. Let's say you have a triangle. Fine. And you have a rectangle here. And you have another rectangle here. Nice. Let's just change a little bit. Let's put some color. And here you have LMIer. And by clicking here in the X with your scroll with the scroll bar of your mouse, you're gonna choose the stroke, because a vector you can have a form with fill and with stroke. And by clicking this X, you are saying it has no fill with the normal click button, and with the scroll bar button, you are saying it has no stroke. And here, if you only group things, so maybe just change the color. You already have two kinds of samples to your abstract. So the Inkscape is not the best tool for the job, but sometimes it's the best tool you have. So let's understand it and start to work. So following, I'm gonna do a practical exercise. You all can be free to do this on your own. First, I'm gonna active the grid. So I came here in view, page grid. And with the page grid, as you see, you may have many units that may help you to make your drawing. I'm gonna start with the Bezier tool. It's gonna be a very used tool. And I'm gonna count four points, four grid units to one side and H from down. It's gonna be a little like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4, H. After that, I'm gonna push more 4 lines here and just go back. Think is here. So the how many points you choose, you need to keep it. It's 4 to the left, to 4 to the right, and 8 to the to down. After you done use your clicks, you just hit enter, and you're gonna have your first object. Nice. So who guess what we are gonna do with this? We're gonna make a DNA. So if everyone is struggling with something in the Inkscape, please tell us in the chat so we can help. But if everyone came to this stage, also you can say it. It's very easy. You just make these 4 points, and then with the N, the selection edit paths by node, N2. I can just okay. We're gonna start to edit your object. So what's how it's gonna be? We're gonna start with those points, and we're gonna just click this and push the ankle to the side. So what I did to turn this into a curve is that I got here in the up part, and here is some types of curves, and I'm just clicking in this one. The type of curve I needed is something like this, like that. After do this, I do this in the other side. And then for this side, we're gonna push the handle to inside the object, like this. And this handle, we're gonna just kill it, pushing this to the, collapsing this to the original point. So I have this angle here, and the next, I think it's not possible. Let's see. It's required a little practice, but the idea is that you need to, if you're pointing to one side, you're gonna push the handles to the other side. So here down, once you are pointing to the right, we push the handles to the left here. So I think that it's fine. Let's just continue it. We can zoom out and zoom in holding Control and the scroll bar. And also the space helps you to navigate. But if you may are in another layer, another sidebar, don't press space because it's gonna close the visibility. But if you are here, fine, click in space and navigate. So we have your first object. Let's put some color. Here, here we can choose be a blue. Um, like this. This is gonna be a bright color. I'm gonna even stretch a little. So fine. Once we have this, I need two of this or more. So I can hold Control D. That's gonna duplicate the object. How can I see if it's working? If I push in, it's gonna be two. We can easily reflect the object here. You can choose. So we're gonna make our first string of our Alice, and then we're gonna do the backwards part. So here, just Control G and nudge. Another one. Here is okay. So I'm gonna copy everything, make another layer, It's gonna be up. Just hide this to don't mess up. And paste. And to paste, I'm not gonna use the normal command. I'm gonna use Ctrl Alt V. What this does, this paste in the same place you have copy. So it's gonna be in the same place. Not gonna need to adjust later. Let's see, it's gonna work. Bam. Okay, the same place. Here in the layers, you can click in the lock icon to lock your layer, or you can click in the eye to switch the visibility of the layer, if you're gonna see it or not. So we have the two layers here. We just need to nudge this to nudge. I also use shift and the arrow. So it's shift because I with this we do 10 pixels, and I am locking the layer down because I don't want to click on this. Just wanna work with the up layer. So now I wanna reflect this in the flip. It's gonna be here in the up toolbar, and let's find the position. Okay, and the color, make this more brighter, like here. So if I here I want to select the bottom, what should I do? I should lock the up layer so I'm not working on this anymore, and then just select. And here you already have the bottom layer selected. This is one of the main ways to work with layers. Because I want a little darker color. Perfect. So let's just disable our grid. And here you have your first DNA helix. And we can save it. So everyone has any question? We can go to the next part. So let's say that you're gonna use this DNA in a graphical abstract, and you're saying, we have DNA sec, and we're gonna, it's part of our project. We need to say that we got this DNA data from DNA sec. So we need to vectorize this to put this in your project. So let's see. So here I have next sec, and I'm gonna use this for our first more deep exercise. So what should I do when I'm gonna vectorize an image? You can change the color. You are here in the DNA. If you wanted to change the color, please verify if the layers are unlocked, so you can click, and you should make the changes here. Always to select, you need to use the black arrow here, or the S. S. Okay, then try to use this tool, it's the black arrow, and try to select, and you can change the color here. The stroke, you need to use the scroll bar. And the widget, you can change here in this point. If you double click, you rotate. If you one click, you just scale. Please tell me if you already solved this. I'm gonna see if there is a notification. So Kira, if you have any problem, you please share with us that we can go back in this. You're trying. If it's got any harder, you may just close your file and open it again, and may follow up on this part. It may be easier. The Inkscape sometimes is a little buggy, little laggy. So I'm gonna continue from here. Um, you can take a look because you're gonna learn it anyway. Um, so if I'm gonna vectorize a picture, the first thing I'm gonna do is to isolate this picture in a layer. So this is gonna be the name of the layer, photo, and we click here to make the drawing. And then we lock the photo to don't mix up the things. Mm, So here in the layer, if you check here in the bottom, you have an opacity bar. So if you change this, you can change the opacity of your layer. So choose something from here to here, but you need to decrease the opacity. So let's say you have this. So we're going to drowning, and we're gonna start to do this with the square tool, rectangles in square. But if you see that it's a little messy, we change to bezier tool. So let's identify the squares here. I may say that we have a main square here. You see that they are all with those handles. So I'm gonna do this from the bottom to up. The first thing I'm gonna do is this big one. Why? Because it's gonna be easier to make the drownings now. So after the drowning in this corner, in this blue circle, I'm gonna click this to find the right edge. Let's say it's here. And I also can change the opacity here just to see it better. So one thing, I accidentally drowned this square in the photo layer. If I just wanna correct the things, I just Ctrl X, Ctrl X, lock this, go to the drowning, and then Ctrl Alt V. So now it's gonna be in the right place. And I change this to another color so I can see it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Fine. And that one. Okay. And this one has no square, no round corner. Something like that. For this, I'm gonna use a bezier tool. To make it straight, I hold Shift while I'm drawing, and I just want to make a straight line and hit Enter. And another one here. Okay. So this is our first approach, and we use the square tool to make the drawings. Let's see if it is working. You can access this, Vanessa, in this icon. It is down the T. If you click this, it's gonna show this sidebar. Okay. If it is anyone doubt too. So how could I continue? I'm just gonna show to you how to grab the color from other source. And I think that it's gonna be the time of the presentation. So I need this square to be that color. For that I have a eyedropper. It's called pick colors from image, and I'm gonna call here pick your color. Then just hit D and get your color. If you wanna get something in between, you may say, I want something in between of this color, this gray. You just click and hold. So you're gonna make an area of interest where you're gonna blend the things and get some color from here. So my color is gonna be this. After I did this, how I go back to the normal tool is the S tool. So I'm saying this because the shortcuts is very important, and you are not seeing what I hit on the keyboard, but it's this S. So with S, I come back to this black arrow. I click here to change the stroke. I don't want a stroke, and let's apply this to the other ones. S, go back here, fine, and it's darker. I want to change the stroke here. So I right click, fill in stroke, and comes another sidebar where I can change the fill, the stroke paint, and the stroke style. I'm gonna do the stroke style. I want this a little more, like this. So I can already correct. I want to start from here, and this too. It's okay. From that I don't want to stroke. Just a recap to don't use the stroke. You just click here and click in the X using the scroll button here. Okay. Mouse wheel. Thank you, Mauro. And let's say I'm gonna use this DNA we are working. It's just uncomfortable. Oh God. Here. Is everyone selected? Control C and Control V. So So I think it's starting to become a little laggy, so I'm gonna save everything and just close it to open again. Okay, this first. Okay, now it's gonna work. So again, to select everything, I need to know that everything is unlocked and colored to our. It's not so easy. And import the DNA Alex here. Great. So it's gonna be this for today. I think that is an introduction to you see how you may think the vector drawing. In the next one, we may do a little perspective to make things a little difficult. But I may think that if you work a little on this, you may have a better solution than just take an image of a machine and put on your abstract. Actually, I take a look on some nature papers with uh, sequential, and the better ones is the when the people try to vectorize and do illustration to show what they're doing. So everyone, thanks for coming. I am available to take any doubts, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Anyone has a question? I guess no.
Maybe not.
People are congratulating you. So thank you, Alan, for the amazing lecture. We are looking forward to the next one.
Thank you. We can see this later on new techniques.
Okay. Bye bye, guys. See you next training.
See you.